All right, time to do our predictions for the 2013 Stanley Cup Playoffs. We'll begin on the eastern side of things. Opening round, you got the Pittsburgh Penguins against the New York Islanders. You look at statistics, we've got a cheat sheet right here. Pretty much the Penguins, they're a better team in pretty much every category, with the possible exception of one. They're better offensively, better defensively, they have a better overall save percentage, better with the power plays. But the Islanders do have a better percentage with the penalty kill. The problem with gauging NHL hockey is that of the big four sports, it's the one with the least predictable playoffs. You never have upsets in the NBA. The NFL, usually pretty easy to pick, but when it comes to hockey, forget it, all bets are off. Upsets happen all the time. 8 seeds always knock off 1 seeds. 7 seeds knock off second seeds. And I think this is one of those things where, despite all the empirical evidence that would kind of have you leaning towards Pittsburgh like a normal person, I just kind of think that there's something going on. The Islanders played incredibly well down the pipe, and I don't know, I just got a feeling. Can't describe it, but I think the Islanders do end up defeating the Penguins in 6 games in a huge upset. Similarly, at Montreal against Ottawa. And this is one of those things where it's actually pretty much cut and dry to me that Ottawa is a better overall team. Yeah, the Canadians, they have the better offense. Yeah, they might have the better power play percentage. They might have the streak in their favor, but Ottawa is just a fantastic defensive squad with a way better save percentage, and they have a great penalty kill percentage. So I think the Senators end up winning that series in about 6. Continuing the lower seed victory parade for the 2013 season. You got the Rangers against the Capitals. The Capitals have been playing incredibly well, but I think the Rangers are just a better team in pretty much every other category. Offensively, yeah, you can give it to Washington, but the Rangers are certainly a better team defensively, have a better save percentage. They're pretty much tied as far as power play percentage goes, so I'm not going to talk about that. A better penalty kill, and I think they've been riding a longer streak in the playoffs. So I think the Rangers will win this one also in 6. You're seeing a pattern here, hopefully. And then you got Boston against Toronto. Toronto in the playoffs the first time since the War on Terror began. The Bruins obviously had the Boston Marathon, so they have that sentimental thing going behind them. This is one of those games where I think Toronto, they're pretty good as far as penalty kill goes. You might give them the advantage on the power play, but Boston, they're just better offensively. They're better defensively. Look at their goaltending; it's much better, in my humble opinion. So I think they end up winning this one in 5. So after the first round of the Eastern Conference, that leaves Boston as our highest seed, which means they will end up playing the lowest seed, which will be the Islanders. And that leaves the New York Rangers taking on the 7th seeded Ottawa Senators in the second round. Okay, and over here on the western side of things, Chicago against Minnesota. This is the easiest game to pick in the entire series as far as I'm concerned. The Blackhawks have just been dominating. The Wild put on an impressive show to get where they are, but I am not expecting an upset here at all. Chicago just the better team in pretty much every conceivable category, except power play percentage, but even then I think it's only a marginal difference. Chicago is just way too good, way too many weapons to go down in the first round, and I have them sweeping the Wild. Anaheim-Detroit should be probably one of the best games of the entire playoff year. Detroit really being resurgent and rallying to make it in the playoffs. Anaheim being a really good offensive and defensively powerful team going up against a team that's really fighting hard to keep the streak alive. It's going to be entertaining. I think Detroit's going to go in there and win a couple of games, but at the end of the day, I just can't vote against Anaheim. They're just too good of a team, to be honest. Really good goaltending, offensively powerful, got some good lines. And Detroit, I just think they're a little bit too slow. They might win 2 or 3 games, but they're not winning this series. I see the Ducks winning in 7. Okay, Vancouver against San Jose. This is one of those games where it kind of is a slight to empirical reason. If you look at the two teams statistically, San Jose is just better defensively, got a better save percentage, better power play, better penalty kill. But I think Vancouver is still an overall better offensive squad. They have a better chance of scoring. They can score easier. And as good as San Jose is defensively, I think Vancouver manages to pull up the miniature upset, even though they are the higher seeded team. And I think they do end up winning in 6 games. So that will set up Anaheim and the Canucks in the second round play. And lastly, we come to the Kings against St. Louis, and this is another pretty easy one to pick. St. Louis has a better penalty kill percentage, but LA clearly a better team offensively, better team as far as goaltending goes, a better team with the power play. So really, a lot of people are saying this King squad we have, and I'm biased because they're my favorite team. They're as good as the team that won the Stanley Cup last year. So why isn't anyone giving them the benefit of the doubt? Just one of those things about hockey. All right, so switching back over to the East Coast, you got Boston against the New York Islanders. The Islanders, they've played very well. They've surprised me, but I think Boston just has the offense and it has the goaltending to keep them going a little bit further than the Islanders. And I think when it's all said and done, Boston will end up winning this series in 5. And then we come down to the Rangers against Ottawa. And this, remember the playoffs last year, the Rangers were the number 1 seed in the East, and they were almost taken out by the Senators. And the Senators are really one of the best defensive squads in the league right now, and nobody's really talking about that. The Rangers, they got the offensive firepower, but I think Ottawa just has the far better defense, and defense, as we all know, takes teams further in the playoffs. So I think the Senators will end up beating the Rangers in 6 games. So there we go. That's our very unlikely pick for Eastern Conference Finals. Boston Bruins taking on the Ottawa Senators. So over here, back to the West, we got Chicago against LA. And folks, I'm going to call the upset. The Blackhawks have been dominated. They've dominated like very few teams before them in NHL history. But when you look at LA, you look at their speed, you look at their goaltending, you look at their ability to kill power plays, you look at their penalty kill percentage, you just look at their speed. That's kind of the variable here. Chicago, yeah, they're fast and they can bruise, they can put points on the board, but I think the Kings are just, not to be using a pun here, but they're just too quick for the Blackhawks. Blackhawks have been on a tremendous run, but I think their luck runs out against the Kings, who are the overall faster team and probably the more offensively dangerous team, all things taken into consideration. So I do have the Kings knocking off the Blackhawks in the second round. Anaheim and Vancouver, I think Anaheim actually is going to have an easier time dispatching the Canucks than they did the Red Wings. Anaheim, what can you say? Decent goaltending, really good defense, reliable offense. I think they end up taking off Vancouver in 5 games. So all that, you end up with our Final Four, the 2013 season, in my humble estimations. You've got Anaheim and LA and Boston and Ottawa. Start with the Western Conference. I'm a Kings fan. I'm a huge diehard Kings aficionado. But when you play pick'em, you're not playing favorites. You're just kind of going on what you feel and what the data looks like. And I think Anaheim would probably be the better of the two teams in this matchup. Yeah, the Kings are better offensively, perhaps, but Anaheim, I just think they have a better defensive-oriented scheme. I think you put in guys like Sako Koivu and their other scorers, and they're just matching up against the Kings. Yeah, the Kings, they might be quicker, but I just think Anaheim, they're more reliable. They're better overall with setting up plays. And I don't know, as good as the goaltending is for LA, I just kind of have this vibe about the Ducks. I have this team of destiny thing going on. So I think when it's all said and done, your unlikely champions of the Western Conference this year will be the former Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Okay, and over here on the Eastern Conference, Ottawa has been playing incredibly well. Boston has also been playing incredibly well. Great defensive squad of the Senators, but I think the offensive scheme of the Bruins is a little bit better, and their goaltending is just mildly more reliable. And I think they end up winning a very, very hard-fought 7-game series, which sets up the Bruins against the Ducks in our 2013 Stanley Cup Finals. And I had to weigh this a lot. I think Boston, with everything that's been going on this spring, the entire season is going to be behind them. It's going to be a great Cinderella story. They've played incredibly well, and they deserve to make it to the finals. But when it's all said and done, I think Anaheim, just looking at their lineup, looking at their goal scorers, looking at their reliability, looking at their overall defense, looking at their goalkeeping, I just think they're a team which, even though nobody's kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt now, are probably the best suited at this point to go in there and survive the long haul and end up winning Lord Stanley's Cup. So my final prediction, I think the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, who are now just the Anaheim Ducks, will end up winning Lord Stanley in 2013, and they will defeat the Boston Bruins in 6 games. So there you go. Congratulations, Anaheim. You haven't won it, but you could.